Have you just picked up the Colonies expansion for Terraforming Mars and want to know how to use all the new cards and mechanics best? Or are you anticipating the release of it on Steam and want to already know everything about it beforehand? Then you clicked on the right video, because I will give you my top 8 tips for the Colonies expansion for Terraforming Mars. Colonies is hugely influential and transforms the game like no other expansion. The most prevalent impact of it is that the engine playstyle is improved and heavily favored. This is due to a few factors. First of all, Colonies adds 49 new cards, and out of these only 7 directly increase the parameters or grant heat or plant prot. Also, out of these 7, I would say that only 2 are used to their full potential in the rush. Crucially, the expansion does not introduce any space events to directly increase the parameters like GIA, Toying, or Asteroid in the base game. This makes finding useful rush cards difficult in the diluted deck, and since you're on a timer as a rush player and need to always find the right cards at the right time to end the game fast, this strongly decreases your chances to win. The second reason as to why Colonies is an engine player's dream is in opposition to the first. The expansion introduces some insane engine cards like Jovian Lanterns, Research Colony, Skydocks, Trading Colony, and Warp Drive. But if you want to know everything about the new project cards, check out my rating expansion card series, where I'm currently going over the Colonies expansion in great detail. It is linked in the description. And then lastly, for the reasons why Colonies favors engine, placing colonies and trading is just one more gameplay mechanic for which you can spend your resources and time, which does not help with ending the game, except if you're constantly trading with Io or Ganymede. But what does all of that mean? Well, first of all, you should plan accordingly. If your hand includes some good rush cards and you're thinking about trying to go down that route, just know that it will be significantly harder than in the base game, and that you need to be exceedingly lucky to continue to find cards that help you to end the game. This also means that rush corps such as Ecoline, UNMI, and to an extent Helion suffer. Especially Ecoline is just not as good as in the base game. You should often just go for the more engine-like game plan and expect that a better engine will win the game. When playing with Colonies, you'll soon notice that the new gameplay mechanic, trading, is super strong and can totally transform your game. Why is that the case? Well, trading essentially lets you convert one type of resource, most often power as we'll see later, into more resources. This alone would be good, but trading also offers you flexibility, since you can choose from multiple colony tiles and take resources that fit your strategy right now, whether that's MC, steel, plants, heat, cards, or even animals. On top of that, you're not just gaining resources, you're denying them to your opponents, which is incredibly relevant when a single colony tile stands out as the best one on the table. This has multiple consequences. First of all, you should try to trade each gen, and because of that, you should try to set up production to be able to do that. Because we can assume everyone at the table will try to trade each gen, colonies will also become passive engines that keep generating value, making them basically a must-have. You should absolutely try to rush colonies down at the start of the game if there are one or more of the top tier colony tiles in play. If you want to know what the best colony tiles are and why, check out my colony tiles tier list, which is linked in the description. But the gist of it is that Luna and Pluto are the absolute standouts, especially the latter can break games. Trading with power is the most efficient way to do it, and it's pretty easy to understand why. Just look at the basic cost of the resource production you'll need to trade. One power prot costs 7 MC, one titanium prot costs 10 MC, and one MC prot costs 4.5 MC. That means the necessary prot to trade each gen costs 21 MC if you're using power, 30 MC if you're using titanium, and 40.5 MC if you're using MC. Due to these differences in costs to trade, there are different thresholds at which it is worth it to trade. Let's take a look at Luna to see what I mean. If we trade using MC, we obviously need the colony marker to be at least at position 5 for it to be cash positive. We know that the power prot required to trade only costs half of what the MC prot does, so trading with Luna in position 4 is already definitely a winning trade. So in general, you should try to determine the thresholds at which trading with a specific colony tile is worth it and only trade at or above them. But obviously, there can be situations in which it is worth it to trade even below the thresholds. Maybe you need some plants for conversion to take the bonus bump, or you need some heat to get a temperature bump to unlock a strong plant prot card. In these cases, there are additional factors that need to be considered, and you cannot just base your decision on the colony-specific cost thresholds. So, we know trading with power is amazing. That means power prot cards hugely improve in value. Something like GSM or Nuke Power is suddenly a top tier card for the opening, since it guarantees being able to trade in Gen 2. Funnily enough, this also means that Thorgate, one of the worst corps of the base game, is suddenly quite strong. Not only does it give you a discount on all of the power prot cards you want to play to trade, it also guarantees you to get the 3 power prot for just 60 in MC due to its discount on the standard project and the starting prot. But what else is there to consider? There are 2 cards, Cryosleep and Rim Freighters, that lower your cost to trade. If you've played one or even both of them, trading with Titanium can suddenly become an appealing option. Sure, it is still more expensive than trading with power, but A, the absolute difference in cost is now lower, and B, if you don't have any power, Titanium trading is now 33% or even 66% cheaper, leading to lower thresholds at which trading is worth it. Definitely keep this in mind to spot the situations in which you'll want to trade using Titanium. While trading with MC will also be cheaper, it will still be your worst option, and now it will be even worse in relation to the other ones. I think I've sufficiently established the fact that trading with power is really strong, and you should do it in every game if you get the chance. This obviously improves all of the cards that grant you power prot, but it also degrades all of the cards that use up your power prot or power. You seriously need to consider spending the resource if it means you cannot trade with power afterwards. Trading might just be stronger than that power-hungry card you got on your hand. For me, it basically means I have a hard lower bound at 0 power prot, I mean, you cannot go lower than that, and a soft lower bound at 3. I don't want to go lower than that because I want to remain able to trade. But that soft lower bound might be even higher. You might find one of the cards that grant you another trade fleet. Suddenly, you'll need 6 power prot to trade. You see, power is valuable, and that means especially cards that use up a lot of it lose in value massively. Strip Mine, Oxygen Bumpers, Physics Complex, they all are way worse with Colonies. Especially the Bumpers, who also suffer from the fact that Engine is so much stronger now. Of course, there are factors that can change this dynamic. Titan Floating Launchpad allows you to trade efficiently without using power, and Cryosleep and the Rim Freighters decrease the soft lower bound of power prot. Options like these can free up power prot and allow you to still play and use cards that consume power or power prot, but in general, power prot is far too valuable to use on anything other than trading. You all know how strong card draw is in Terraforming Mars, especially if you're playing an engine strategy. You'll just want to see more cards than the 4 you get in each draft. Therefore, if you can, you should try to get continuous card draw down to find pieces for your green, science or Jovian combos, and even if you're rushing, you'll need to find the right space events and supporting cards to finish the game fast enough. I explained earlier that including colonies in your games increases the focus on engine style play. So naturally, card draw is still really good, maybe even better than without colonies. There's just one caveat. If Pluto is in game, all other card draw loses in value massively. Pluto is basically a freely available card draw option that everyone in the game will use. Due to this, colonies will be placed there almost instantly, often 2 or 3 in Gen 1. These colonies will make trading with Pluto better than almost any continuous card draw you can find. In this case, you should prioritize economic development cards over more card draw in the draft. You'll have good enough card access with Pluto already, and you'll want to be able to play all of these cards in time. Europa is one of the weirdest colonies, and usually not frequented that often. Especially in the mid to late game when the prot you gain there does not have enough time anymore to pay off. In general, most of the other colony tiles just offer better and especially instant payoffs. But there are a few things to consider. If you desperately need an ocean, for example for conversion for Gardener or to get kelp down faster, you would normally use an SP for that if you don't have a card. However, placing a colony on Europa, even using the standard project, is the better way of achieving the same outcome. Not only do you pay 1 MC less for the ocean upfront, you will also probably get a few MC back via the colony bonus over the course of the game. In a similar way, if you need power prod, and this can happen regularly when playing with colonies, trading with Europa for it is 2 MC cheaper than using the SP. Keep this in mind, as it can sometimes be the difference between getting another card out or not. Even though Colonies is an engine-focused expansion, developing a lot of steel prod is not a great choice. Why? Well, it all comes down to deck dilution. When playing with the base game and preludes only, 70 out of the 215 project cards have a building tech. That's 32.6% and means that developing steel prod is not that risky. You'll likely see quite a few building techs and therefore hopefully find enough of them to spend most of your steel. But out of the 49 new project cards introduced with Colonies, only 3 have a building tech. That cuts the percentage of building techs in a deck down to 27.7% just with this expansion, which is really noticeable. If you don't develop card draw or trade with Pluto regularly, you might not find enough building techs either at all or at the right time to spend your steel, making it less valuable and more risky. Colonies is of course compatible with all other expansions, but there are a few things to consider. If you're a regular Venus Next player, you're probably used to playing with Hoverlord. And yeah, there are quite a few new floater cards in the Colonies expansion, with which you might want to go for this milestone. Just remember that if you're not playing with Venus Next, that Hoverlord is not in game. I don't really want to admit it, but this blunder has happened to me once already on BGA. Another point to consider about the interplay of Venus Next and Colonies is that a lot of the floaters are not compatible. There are quite a few Venus cards that can place their floaters only on other Venus cards, and there are also quite a few Jovians that can place theirs only on other Jovians. If you're playing on the board, you might also include Turmoil into the mix. This expansion will naturally dilute the deck even more, and it doesn't come with any floaters, for example. In addition, colony placing cards and stuff like trade envoys become much rarer, so if you find them in the draft, you should prioritize them even more. Turmoil also mainly improves engine with parties like the Scientists, Unity and the Reds. And lastly, basically all expansions, so not only colonies, come with very few building techs, so steel prod really takes a hit. But that's it, all of my most important tips for playing with colonies. How do you like the expansion, and do you have any more tips and tricks for it? Let us know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and follow me on Twitch. See you in the next one.